Gang.
Bang bang, it's the James Gang, doing our own thing, bang. To rearrange the game, is the main aim. We sing, but we bring sharp suits, clean. A tight team, white team, and we fighting king. The whole persona, make you wanna come and join us. True leaders that hold heaters, you can't see us. The bow ties look so fly, make you say my. The bow ties look so fly, make you say my. Do you really wanna huff with us? Huff with us? Stop! Yeah! Come on! Yeah! Do you really wanna huff with us? Huff with us? Stop! Yeah! Come on! Yeah! Do you really wanna huff with us? Huff with us? Stop! Yeah! Come on!
Now clearly these boys done reached back and need something old, something new. They obviously got vision.
Unexpected hits that drop just like bird shit. So absurd, so much nerve, so much swerve. You ain't heard, spread the word, share the germ, give us burn. It's our turn. The hard gals are so wild, make you wanna rock our style. The hard gals are so wild, make you wanna rock our style. Do you really wanna huff with us? Stop! Yeah! Come on! Yeah! Do you really wanna huff with us? Stop! Yeah! Come on! Yeah!
everyone. My name is Jeff Boucher. I'm the founder and president of Touch the World Ministries, the nonprofit that is attached to Code Purple and partnering with ING Activewear. Touch the World started about 20 years ago when we took a number of young people to another culture to give them really an opportunity to experience God in a brand new way. And when they were there, their lives so radically changed that when they got home, the ministry actually incorporated, it began, and we began taking young people all over the world. We have a full-time work going on in 5 different countries, but we travel to many, many countries throughout the year. And just to give you an idea of some of the things we do, in Mexico, in Juarez, maybe you've heard of that city. It's one of the, I guess, most violent cities in the North American continent. And in Juarez, we built a school in a garbage dump for children so that they could attend with their families. We feed them every day, we educate them, and just generally a great work going on for the community there. Over in Honduras, we work with orphans and children. Over in Haiti, we work with lots and lots of people, orphanages and churches and so forth, especially after the earthquake. And we have a great work going on in Uganda right now, and that's really what initiated a lot of this. Touch the World's board is very active in the work that we do. So active, in fact, that some of them have taken missions trips with us around the world to impact the people that we go to be with. And I want to tell you a quick story about one of those people and why malaria is such an important thing for me and how it really hits home. One of our board members, actually several of our board members, went on a trip about a year ago, and Pam led that trip, and one of the leaders there, and as she went, she got involved in the project that we're doing. We work in the capital city of Kampala, but we're also way up in the north in Gulu, and in a village called Adak. Adak was a former IDP camp, which was an internally displaced people camp that the country put many of their people into to protect them from the Lord's Resistance Army back then, who were killing the children, taking them, making them child soldiers, and so forth. So as Pam went over, we're building a clinic there, a medical clinic, and we drilled a well for water, for clean water, and we're working with a lot of people over there. And so when Pam was there, she was involved in the project, getting going, and so forth. It was only a 2-week trip. But when Pam returned home, 6 weeks later, a couple of weeks later, I think it was, she started to get ill, and she started to get pains and started to get chills and so forth. And I didn't realize how serious it was until my wife and I went and visited her at the hospital one morning. And when we walked in, Pam looked at me. She had just a horrible look in her eyes, and she said, "I'm not going to make it." And I said, "No, you're going to make it. Many people have had malaria." And we left that day and came back the next morning, and we realized she was very, very bad. And her lungs were filling up with fluid. And they made a decision. I got on a phone with a Kenyan doctor to help the doctors here, and they were talking back and forth, and then we immediately knew she had to come into the city. And so we got her to Colombia, and her husband and I traveled over following the ambulance. The doctors came from here to get her, and when we brought her in, the doctors walked over and basically said, "Mr. Adma, you have to sign these papers. We have to take your wife into surgery immediately, and it doesn't look good." And so what they did is they used a procedure called ECMO, which is basically, for those of us not in the medical field, it's a lung transplant, or lung bypass rather, machine. So it takes, if I could show you the pictures, I wish you could see them, but she had a hose the size of a garden hose coming out of her neck. All the blood was taken from her body, doing the job that her lungs would do, going through a machine down by her bedside. She had 27 IV bags in her. She was in an induced coma. She was lying in this bed each day not knowing if she was going to make it. And as time went by, she grew steadily worse. And it was a very fearful time for all of us. And then I have to tell you, there's no more helpless feeling that you can have than watching one of your friends' lives ebb away right in front of you. And then as that happened and she continued to worsen, they continued to work this machine, and we didn't know what was going to happen. It was a very difficult time. And so she suffered with that, and if you saw those pictures, you would be absolutely amazed. But as we stand tonight, I want to tell you about malaria one thing. Malaria is the #1 killer over in Africa. And unlike diseases like AIDS, which are preventable in large part, not completely, but in large part by education and so forth, malaria is not. It's carried by mosquitoes. It is no respecter of persons. It bites rich and poor alike. It doesn't matter what race you're from, it attacks. And right now, every 45 seconds, someone dies from malaria. So it is a very, very chilling, killing disease. And we've seen the effects firsthand. Sadly, you know, right up front. But we celebrate tonight something different. We celebrate an answer to that. And you're going to hear more about that as we go, and that's what Code Purple is all about. And tonight we're hoping to clothe the village of Adak completely with clothing that was developed by Robin Crespo of ING Activewear. And he asked us to partner with him, you know, to distribute this clothing and to get it out there. And before you see him, I just want to say Pam did make it. And I want to introduce her, and she's going to come and share a little bit of that story. So this is Pam Adma, and Pam's going to come out and share a little bit about what she experienced while she was there.
So in an effort not to repeat all that Jeff talked about, I just want to really talk about the disease of malaria and what I felt like when I had malaria. You have chills and fever and shivering like you've never had before. Every joint in your body hurts. And the pain and the agony is unbelievable. And I can't imagine being in Africa and suffering the way I did there. I remember being in the hospital. I remember getting sick and thinking, I can't have malaria. I did everything I was supposed to be doing. I took all the medication. I had every modern medicine that I could have. There's no way I could have malaria. And when the doctors came in and said, we can't find anything wrong with you, so I think we're going to check it for malaria. I said, that's just not possible. And he came in and said, you have malaria. He said, take this medication and go home in a couple days, you're going to be better. But 24 hours later, I was in the hospital, and 24 hours after that was when my husband got the phone call that said, if we don't transport your wife right now to Columbia Presbyterian, she's not going to make it. And still to this day, I can't wrap my head around what my husband must have thought when the doctors called him and told him that. And then he had to turn to our 3 kids and say, we're not so sure if your mom's going to make it or not. So they put me on this ECMO machine, and for 10 days, my family came, all my family came. Brothers, sister-in-laws, in-laws, parents, came and sat for 10 days, just wondering, are you going to wake up or aren't you going to wake up? Just staring at me. And I wish we did have some of the pictures because it was pretty intense. I had a tracheotomy, I had tubes coming in my neck, and basically I was on a lung bypass machine. But to top it off, on top of that, it was a really special time of year for us because, well, first of all, we're farmers, and so that was our busy season, so my husband didn't have me to help him, but our youngest daughter and my only child, and my youngest was about to graduate high school and go to prom, and I wasn't there. I was in the hospital. My middle son, Joshua, had just come home from college his first year, and we were planning our oldest son's wedding. It was going to be in 2 weeks. He was going to marry his love of his life, Anna, in 2 weeks, and I was in the hospital. So we postponed that, and our whole life was just completely upside down, totally upside down. And I remember waking up and thinking, why? I went to Africa, I thought I was doing a good thing, and here I am 4 weeks later, woke up, and my whole life was gone, what I thought. So I became really angry, and I thought, Lord, what do you have, what's the plan for me for this, and how can I make a difference? And that was when I realized how deadly malaria is. It kills. Malaria is a killer. And just because I'm living in the United States, and I can get it too. We all can get it. And the fact of the matter is people are dying every 45 seconds from malaria. And it destroys lives and it takes people's lives away, and it's a killer. And I want to be part of the solution. I want to be part of helping to prevent malaria and bringing the solution.
What Pam didn't mention either is that her medical bill turned out to be $1 million. People around the world don't have insurance that can handle that. You know, but today we do have a solution. So we're going to bring out Robin Crespo, and Robin's going to come and share a little bit about that.
You know, when I first met Pam, I had tears rolling down my face. Because when I looked into her eyes, I saw someone that survived something that isn't an option for other people in life. And we have a fiduciary duty as Americans and as people to have a capacity to do something for someone that doesn't. And if this doesn't pull on your heart that every 45 seconds someone is dying from malaria, that we're losing human capital, the most important resource that we have on this planet. Going green is great, but that's like 6 years ago. Going purple is now, okay? What I need you guys to do right now is process inside of your mind how much you're gonna give to this cause, because I'm committing my life during the rainiest season of Uganda to go film, okay, and bring you guys the truth back. Some of you may not like it. Some of you may say that that's taboo, but statistically, that's what it is. And that's the face of what's going on. So I'm gonna bring back something in a few months before next fashion. We're scheduled to show in Paris, right? We're scheduled to show in Paris for the next fashion show. And I'm gonna bring you back a movie, okay? And the movie's called 5 on Monday, where I check into a makeshift hospital, okay, where they don't have the good medicine. You know the difference between what good medicine is bad medicine? It's 80 cents. That's the balance of life, 80 cents. Okay, I check in and I watch 5 children check into a hospital. Statistically, 3 of them won't make it till Sunday. Okay, and I have to bear that. And when I ask God, I'm like, God, why would you choose me for this? This is gonna change me forever. I'm never gonna be the same individual. And I was scared. He told me, hope, Robin. It's hope. Bring back the hope, okay? So I need you guys to process right now what you guys are gonna do, okay, for the people, because guess what? We don't have a healthy America until we have a healthy Africa. You understand me? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this part of the show where we start to raise money, okay? So I'm gonna ask for each and every one of you guys as you process this to join me on stage with your commitment. Now your commitment may be $1,000. Most of you are sitting in $1,000 seats. You know who you are. I'm not gonna shout you out, okay? Most of you are sitting in $1,000 seats. Some of you are sitting in $500 seats. Some of you are sitting in $100 seats. I see people getting uncomfortable. Rolling back, they're like, oh boy, oh no. All right, but I want to ask you guys, as I asked the people who just showed and gave you what you wanted, let's give back. As Hal said, okay, you leave a legacy when you do something for someone else, okay? So if you're not doing something from your heart, I don't know what to say. So I'm going to bring some of my friends on, okay? And I'm going to have them speak to you also. And then whoever right now inside of their heart feels like they're led to give, then we're going to do that, okay? And just so you know, the whole goal here is to clothe an entire town, okay? So they can experience freedom from fear. Do you know what it is? Do you use the bathroom? Chad, do you use the bathroom? You do? Do you use the bathroom? You do use the bathroom? Well, imagine if you were too scared to go to the bathroom at night because you didn't want to leave your net. Okay? And that's the reality. This garment that I created is certified. It's certified up to 50 washes. It works so well that the gentleman here was speaking the other day. He told me he used it this summer, and that he said, if I just threw it over my shoulder and you were standing next to me, there were no bugs. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, it's cool. And he was like, no, you don't understand. This thing works. And I was like, okay, security. That's crazy. So it works. There's people here that have tested it. We're gonna have an incredible show, okay? But right now, I really want you guys. So who's gonna be the first person, the brave soul? Who's the first person, the brave soul, that's gonna step on stage? Join me as we close a dock. Okay, it's people. There's 3,000 people in a dock. Okay. Now I'm gonna pressure and challenge myself as you guys step on stage. For everyone that you guys give, I'm gonna give. Okay. So who's gonna join me first? Let's give them a round of applause. This is where we get quiet. Who's gonna join me next? Who's gonna join me next? Who's gonna join me? Don't be scared. It's not that high. You can get up. Thank you. Join me. Thank you. Send them back to the accounting table. Thank you. This is one of my professors right here. Oh, you guys don't know I'm a designer? Oh boy, wait till you see. Not my time. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Who are you again? Thank you. Can we give a round of applause to Mood Fabrics, who sponsored the entire show. The entire show. My man Slash. We're gonna do a doggy line, Slash, I promise. No ticks. Come on, I'm not that bad looking. Come on, I'll get a hug and a kiss. Thank you. Thank you. Come on up. Thank you. You get a big hug. Ah! Thank you. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Someone come and represent for my friend. Come on. Thank you. Now, who's got a heart for Haiti? Because the donation to Haiti, that's where I'm going to give. So as you give to Africa, I give to Haiti. Okay? Thank you, brother. Ah, Chris.
This is the family that stood by me the whole time I was in the hospital. All my brothers and my siblings. Where's the rest of my family?
These are the people. I'm sorry, Kim, did I cut you off? These are the people making a difference. Thank you. on. You don't know the closing designer is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Closing designer is amazing. Come on here. Your husband went up. Come on, share the stage with me. You guys better wait, because I want. Look, easy, easy. I want to hurry. Don't worry. You two. You think you're gonna sneak by me? Come on. Let's go, you two. Come on. Come on. I want you up there. You don't want to come and join me? Come on, I'll move the whole stage for you. Let's go. See, these are the things that make a difference when people unite. This is what makes a difference. All right, now, yeah. Can you do me a favor? Can you get all of the designers to come up that just showed? Can someone bring all the designers? Guy Wood, I know you.